Hello and welcome to the ColDesi Holiday Special, where we're going to talk about all different ways to decorate apparel, promotional items, and tons of other things. So we've got the ColDesi crew in our showroom. So let's jump right in there and we'll take a tour of the equipment. You ready? All right, well, here we have a whole crew of people, and we'll introduce you as we go down the line. And we're gonna start over with Hannah Webster, and she's here with the Avance embroidery machine. Specifically, this is a 15 needle embroidery machine. We also have a 12 needle and some other options in the embroidery world as well. So Hannah, why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am in the middle of a design right now, so I have it paused. I'm gonna go ahead and press start. So it'll go ahead and start sewing this out. But basically, like Mark said, 1501 to 15 needles. So I have 15 different colors of thread on my machine, which is a ton. Tons of options here. Right now, I'm maybe using half of these colors. This design was created by ColDesi Graphics as well, so our in-house graphics team. Already, they sewed this out for me already and sent me a photo, so I knew that it was gonna look fantastic. We have it on a Jersey's sweatshirt. Also, we sell this on ColemanandCompany.com as well. Little Christmas inspired Little Debbie cake design. And something I really like about this machine is this touchscreen control panel here. Really easy for putting in my colors. I have a visual cue of that, but it's also gonna show me a visual of my design as it's sewing out in real time. So you can see it's on the R right now, and then if you look at the design, it's also on the R. So really nice visual to detect needle breaks, thread breaks, all of that. So this is actually kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing with an embroidery machine. Load up your design, press go, and I can actually go and do other things. So even in this video today, Mark's gonna go around the room and show you some of the other equipment I have, and I'm gonna go and get our DTG machine ready as well, because I don't really have to stand here and watch this. Even though it is mesmerizing and I could watch it all day, yeah. I'm probably not going to. So
one of the things that folks always ask a lot about is doing hats and doing some large items. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So the Avance embroidery machines do come to the customer ready for flats and caps. So there's a separate cap frame that'll come for the machine. So we do caps all the time. We even do 3D puff embroidery on them, which is really fun. And large embroidery is definitely a possibility. This has a huge embroidery field size and does come, the 1501C does come with a border frame. So that's a very large frame. It's literally about that big. And we've actually done a Christmas tree skirt on that. So that was really cool.
Yeah, excellent. And what about, you mentioned about the design before and using a graphics service. So what are the different ways that people can make their embroidery designs or use a graphic service? Yeah, so there is digitizing software that you can have, and you can digitize and create all your own designs. Digitizing is like how it's the term used for embroidery designs. So you can do that yourself and you can learn how to make that, but you also don't have to. You can use a graphic service like ColDesi Graphics, that you send them a photo or whatever of what you want. They digitize it for you and then send it back and it's ready to go. The machine also does come with some designs for you, so that's really nice and a helpful start. And the Avances also have onboard fonts. So if you want to start out with just doing like cuff initials or simple name drops, you can actually just do that all right here on your screen. So really helpful if you're just starting out. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much for the information on the embroidery machines. And we'll look at some other stuff, but just a quick touch on embroidery and why your business should really feel comfortable trusting the ColDesi name and of the Avance brands is that this company started in the embroidery business generations ago. So back before embroidery was even computerized, the family and the ColDesi family essentially has started this industry for many decades, and it's all come to the evolution of the Avance embroidery machines. So we've got decades of experience and technicians, training, all that to help you out, whether you're brand new in the embroidery business or you're looking to get a brand new machine. Yeah. So the next step is let's go ahead and come over to here.
Yeah, I'll show you guys this finished design when it's done, I promise you. We just have a little bit longer to go, so I'll see you guys later.
All right, great. So normally what I would do, if I was doing this demonstration myself, is I would actually start the embroidery machine, get it going, and then I would just personally come over and run one of our other machines. So this is another piece of equipment that you can actually kind of use set and forget a little bit, and this is called the Spangle Elite. And the Spangle Elite creates a bling type of transfer. So this is a holographic material, and it punches out these little discs, as you can see. And it's very much a rhinestone type of a look. The benefits that it has over rhinestones is it's significantly cheaper per individual little piece, significantly cheaper than rhinestones, and probably almost 10 times faster than a commercial rhinestone setter would actually be able to set down rhinestones. And then on top of it, the initial investment is significantly lower too. So let me show you kind of how this works. And it's reasonably simple, but there's software that comes that you can use to design the designs yourself, or you can use our graphics, ColDesi graphics as well. They can do bling designs for you. And we've got this piece of transfer tape right here. If you're not familiar with transfer tape, essentially it's just like a big giant piece of tape. That's it. It's kind of just sticky enough to grab on things, and it's heat resistant, so you can put it in your heat press. And we go ahead and we feed this in, and there's a little feed button in here. All right. All right, and since I've run this design before, I know right where the start point is. I marked it, and now that we're set, we'll go ahead and we'll hit go. And then I'll open it up, give you a closer look in a moment. So as you can see, there is essentially a punch, like a hole puncher, and it's punching out this tape that's going through right here. And the back side of this tape actually is an adhesive glue, much like heat transfer vinyl, if you're familiar. And we can heat apply these transfers to all types of materials, so cotton, polyester, canvas, all that stuff. It washes great, it feels really great, and it just looks amazing. And much like a diamond or a crystal or something like that, the more light that's shining on it, the better it looks, and from far away, a lot of folks don't even realize it's not a rhinestone. All right, so now I'll show you about changing colors. So this is a single color machine, which means it does one color at a time, and it's pretty easy to change colors. So I've got a little glue dot here that I like to use. I've got my second color, and we will trim it with scissors, pop the tape off. Put our new one in, connect it, and the last bit is just to kind of feed the color change through, and it's all set. We can now run our second color through. And pretty soon we'll go ahead and we'll show you kind of the big brother or the big sister of the Spangle Elite, the Pro Spangle machine. But while this is running, I'm going to go ahead and we'll move on to a next piece of equipment that we're currently showing some bling with as well. But what we're looking at here is a glitter vinyl material. So this is actually a heat transfer vinyl that was put on this Christmas sweater right here. And this was cut out on our GraphTech cutting plotter. So what this machine does is it's a computerized cutter. There's actually a blade right here. You designed all types of art with the software that you have, and you end up cutting out a rolled material. So here's a roll of the material that we used right here. This is an adhesive vinyl. but there's so much more you can cut out than just t-shirt vinyl. You could do stickers, you can cut out cardstock. We've even done things like combining it with embroidery, where we've taken twill material and cut it out for doing applique with embroidery, if you're familiar. So a cutter is one of the most versatile tools that you can have for your shop. It's the perfect add-on, especially if you're getting an embroidery machine or some of the other printers, because it can do so much, from stickers to t-shirts and so much more. If you haven't seen a heat transfer vinyl before, this is an example of the one that we did right here. So the Graphtec cutting plotter actually cut this out from that rolled material, and we simply peeled away the extra material that we don't need. So this is very similar to the hobby cutters. You probably have some friends and family that have the really small hobby cutters they got at a craft store. This is the commercial version of that. So significantly faster, significantly larger, and significantly cheaper compared that this giant roll of material, when it was full, probably cost as much as the small little roll they would have bought at the craft store. So if you're currently doing hobby cutting now, or you know somebody who is, this kind of combination of equipment right here is the perfect step up to take you from being a hobbyist to a pro. So this design right here is probably almost ready to switch, so I'll show you the last switch, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll take a look at some other equipment. All right, so that's good to go here. And we'll do the same thing just so you can see the demo again. We'll cut that off, get our second color, or third color I should say, which is the gold. Connect it with the glue dot that was on there, spin it around, and we are ready to hit set and go. All right, we're all done. So let's go ahead and take it out. I'm going to put the back of that transfer sheet. And here's our finished. Dear Santa, just bring wine. I'm sure plenty of folks out there see this design and love it, and wouldn't mind if Santa brought them a bottle of wine. So I sure hope that he does for you. If he doesn't, just ask your maybe husband or wife. They'll probably bring you some wine too. So let's go ahead and let's take a trip over to the heat press. We've got a t-shirt. Let's go ahead and just show you how this works out. So come on over. You see some other printers and things going around here on this heat press. We will be getting to those soon, just in a little bit in the special. So this shirt right here that we have, this is actually a Bella and canvas. It's believe this is the heirloom jersey. It feels so nice. This is a super nice shirt. This shirt with this transfer, don't quote me on it, but the cost of this is probably a third or a quarter of what the retail value of, if not a fifth. Is significantly. This right here is premium grade across the board, and if you were to buy this shirt retail, it's probably a $30 or $40 shirt. It's definitely costing you less than $10 to make. So we'll go ahead and line this up right in the middle of our shirt. And it's kind of a self-sticking, so this is good to go. And then we're going to put it under the heat press for just a few. So spangles are mainly for apparel. So you're going to, as I mentioned before, you can put them on cotton, polyester, blends. We've also put them on some other things like canvas tote bags and stuff like that. They're just really just a beautiful way to decorate apparel, and it will make you stand out because chances are your local competition does not do this. Most people that are doing this are still in the high-end commercial world. So you're talking about either high-end manufacturers or the cheerleading world, things like that. So you as a small business owner can really benefit from offering something like this that's going to be very unique compared to all your competition out there. All right, so I'm just gonna slightly let this cool just a bit. And I even will use, you know, the actual arms of the shirt or another thing to push this in. So there's an adhesive on the back of these spangles, and when you heat it up, essentially that liquefies, and it actually bites, you know, kind of into the fabric of the shirt. So it has a really strong grip. It's really thin. It doesn't have much of a rise at all, much like heat transfer vinyl, and it washes so nicely. There we go. This shirt has a little bit of a stretch to it, so as you can see, it's kind of moving with me. Depending on the apparel, it all works a little different. But here we are. I love the way this looks. This looks amazing. This is super top notch right here. This is the type of stuff that when you make something like this, it's essentially selling itself to your future customers, this is why it's one of my favorite machines. Chances are this will be the first time that one of your customers has gotten this and shared this, mainly because it's just been in the higher end commercial world. So if you bring this to retail and to your local market, I think you're gonna really impress some folks. So here we go. Santa, I hope he does bring you some wine and maybe a Spangle Elite too, if you ask nicely. So now let's go ahead and let's go to the computer here, because I think I have to click print on the next step. So over there by our cutter, we've got the Roland print and cut. So by the way, Jess Santiago is behind the camera, or Jesslyn Santiago, and she has graciously volunteered to not be in front of the camera for the Christmas special, but to be behind the scenes to make sure you all get a great view of everything. So what we're doing here is I'm going to send over a design to the Roland BN20. That's actually a BN20A, and you could talk to our team about the differences. But this is a print and cut system. So what we're doing is, much like the Graph Tech, we can cut all of these designs out that you can see on the monitor up here. But we will actually print them first. So you can digitally print and then cut. So we'll go ahead and I'll hit print and we can watch that start to happen. And I'll show you some examples over here as well. So while this is getting started, let me show you this really cool thing right here that we did. I don't know if this is really accurate. I feel like, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that's about my height. But this is obviously a height chart. This is some artwork done by our graphic artist, Kathy, in-house. Her and her son actually have a kind of a comic series. I hope I'm not speaking of it poorly by calling that, but Manamong is the name of it. You can see the name down there. And this is a size chart that we created, a growth chart essentially for kids. And this was all printed out in one single print on the BN20A. So it really shows the power of how big you can go. And honestly, it could be much bigger than this too. And what the printer is doing here is it's going to kind of feed the paper in, print it out, and cut it at the same time. So all the information's processing right here, and we can come back and get some footage of it as that's going through. So next, we'll go ahead and we'll take it over to another piece of technology as this is getting going. And we'll introduce you to Michael Shepard here.
Hey everybody.
So Michael's going to talk to you about sublimation printing. He's grown up in this industry, in these offices, so he knows a lot of this just through absorbing information over the years, and I can't wait to hear about sublimation.
Alrighty, thanks Mark. So yeah, we're going to go over the Sawgrass SG1000 sublimation printer, and we're going to do that by sublimating a mug. So we've already printed out our design on text print sublimation paper. And let's head over to the mug heat press and get this design on there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to center your design. And we're going to be using some heat tape to make sure that design is secured. I'm going to go ahead and just reattach that, make sure it's...
While Michael's getting that done, we'll kind of talk just like a little basics on sublimation. So sublimation is a way to decorate specialty coated materials. You'll find mugs, t-shirts, ornaments, slate. We've got all types of cool stuff we could show you over there. And it uses a special ink and paper. And as you can see what Michael's going to do here, well, I'll let you tell us what you're going to do, Michael, please.
Yeah, so I've got the design secured with some heat tape, and I've got our mug heat press over here at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply pressure on it. And then as soon as that time is up, it'll actually chemically dye it, unlike your heat transfer vinyl or your white toner transfers. This is literally dyeing the material, whether it's fabric or hard surface materials. So that design can be really, really long lasting. Anyways, while we got the mug heat press going, why don't we show some apparel and other hard surface designs. So this is from our Vapor apparel series, which all of these blanks that you're seeing here are on ColemanandCompany.com. Now, sublimation is limited to polyester, but that's where Vapor apparel is really, really cool, because unlike most polyester things, you're seeing some unique colors here, like grays and greens. Vapor apparel is sublimation approved, so these are all ready to sublimate no matter what. And then you also have this fun ornament, which has that same design that we had on the mug here. So sublimation can be really, really versatile when it comes to different things to decorate. We even have a serving tray over here that we've done before. So there's all sorts of unique ideas that you could do with sublimation. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's so cool, Michael. You have a lot of stuff down there that you guys have made with this. So you have like license plates and mugs, ornaments. This is actually really cool right here. This is like a slate material, so it's like it's a level up just from a regular picture or something like that. That's very cool.
Yeah, and even with all the things you can do, sublimation is also still fairly cheap for what it is. It's definitely, if you're ever considering custom apparel, sublimation is a really, really great place to start, because most of the time a sublimation printer may be a little bit more affordable than a white toner transfer printer, or when you eventually expand your business, even the DTF and the DTG printing. And yet, even as you make those expansions, it's always worth having a sublimation printer, because it's still able to do such really cool designs, whether it's hard surface or fabric like we've shown here today.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much. The mug's almost done, so what we can show you, Jess, if you don't mind coming around while Michael's pulling that out. We've got our Roland has finished printing. So this is a window cling design that on the way out, when we go to show you other equipment, we'll actually show you one that we printed before so you can see. And I'll even just cut this out so we can get a different view of it too. I have something better. There we go. So I do just want to show a few more things and make a few more points about the Roland prints. For one, as you can see, this prints beautifully. The colors that come out of this printer are just you can't even do justice in the camera, honestly. The screen you're looking at it now does not do it justice. They're beautiful prints, which is why this piece of equipment's been famous for so long for stickers, window cling like we have here. But we have some other things that we've printed before. This is just a sticker. This is like, something that you put on a laptop or something like that. It's just a regular sticker. So that's another huge application, one of the most popular. We also have apparel type of stuff. So this is a transfer that we did, kind of like a brewery, apron for a server or something like that. And this is how these transfers look. And folks actually ask, how do you turn a sticker into a transfer, right? So it's a special paper, and then it's actually on this carrier sheet. So as you can see, it's on a sheet, kind of sandwiched between a top and a bottom layer. And we would peel this off, put it on here, put it under the heat press, and take it off, similar to how you saw just a few minutes ago when we were doing the spangles. Very similar. So I just absolutely love this technology. I probably keep saying about everything, but it is really just all so cool. And if you're looking to invest in something for versatility, from car decals to stickers to apparel, all that stuff, window clings, the wall decorations, this is definitely a fantastic investment for your shop. So speaking of fantastic investments, one of my absolutely favorite things that I've been playing with and really enjoying over the past years has been the Digital Heat Effects line of printers. These are white toner printers. So reasonably newer technology, newer than some of the stuff we're looking at before, but has proven itself to be a changer in the marketplace. So we're going to go over to Holly. And it's Holly Wood, and she's worked with white toner printers and the Digital Heat Effects about how long now?
Almost 6 years.
Almost
in January.
6 years. Almost 6 years. So
anniversary.
Holly, I've been with ColDesi a bit longer than that, but Holly's been working with white toner printers longer than me, and I came in and she showed me some of the ropes on this stuff, and I got hooked right away. So I'm gonna let you take it away and tell us a little bit about kind of what are some of the things you can do.
Thank you. And great intro, by the way. And I, too, out of all the fun things that we have here at ColDesi, I really love this machine. And I love it for a couple of reasons. Mainly the no maintenance. So any shop, no matter what size, this is a great fit for your business because it's the only printer machine that you can actually turn off, come back a year later, and it's gonna turn back on. And that's great. And different than sublimation, these actually print white. So it's gonna print a white underbase under your print, which is gonna allow you to put a transfer on any color, any fabric, and any substrate. And Mark's gonna get to some of that a little bit later. But right now I have my design loaded up. I'm gonna go ahead and print, and we're gonna make a fun little hoodie.
So this is great. While Holly's printing here, we're looking at Print Optimizer software, and a lot of folks ask us, what type of software comes with it, what makes the Digital Heat Effects system stand out from other ways of decorating and customizing apparel and other goods. And one is the software. We work directly with the toner manufacturers, the paper manufacturers, the printer manufacturers all together to put together software that gets you optimal colors and an optimal amount of toner being used, all so you get the best out of your Digital Heat Effects printer. So here it is coming out, and Holly will show you what the next step is.
And speaking of software, this is actually the RIP software that controls the printer. As far as designing, similar to the Sawgrass or the BN20, you'll design in any vector graphics program. Most popular is like Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW, but you can design in others. And then you just pop it right in here to print. And that's what my print looks like.
So what advice would you have for folks who don't know how to do graphics yet?
ColDesi graphics, or ColDesi graphics is cool because you can take like a concept, like, hey, I want something with cupcakes on it and this Christmas thing, and they can actually design it for you. Or sometimes people will just submit artwork to you that's just not clean enough to print. It needs to be 300 DPI or better. So in that case, they can also clean it up for you. So that's a great resource. I also tell people, if you're new to printing, a good way to start your library while you build your own is maybe go to Google and do a design, like a t-shirt design bundle. And a lot of times you can get design bundles for like 20 or 30 bucks, and it'll have like 100 to 200 print ready designs. Some of them even have your mock-ups for you. So that's a good way to get like a library while you're building your own.
Yeah, that's actually cool. I've actually, interestingly enough, on Facebook, I've been getting advertisements for these companies now. It's actually really growing, especially with Etsy, with these types of printers gaining popularity. So there's t-shirt design bundles, there's stock places like Adobe Stock. A lot of art that we use, we get from, you know, Adobe Stock Designs. So that's a great way to build it. And then you teach yourself. But ColDesi Graphics is our art service, and it's been a huge change for people that are getting into the business and brand new. But some of the best things you could do is just start to practice, buy some stock stuff, and your customers are going to give you most of your art too, especially when it comes to logos.
And a lot of times, like my friends will say, "Hey, can you print this for me?" I'll go and be very specific in Etsy, and I can find the same design for like $1.50, and that just saved me 3 hours of time.
Oh, okay. You've actually just bought a design that's already
but
made.
for like $1.50, $2, and then
cool.
Then I don't have to design it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'll let you take
you're
it
fine.
from here. Thanks.
I stopped because I wanted to tell you what I'm doing. For dark shirts, we actually have a two-step process for this printer. So this is actually putting a polymer glue just on the back of my design. Now, for light shirts and white shirts and hard substrates like I have right here, we have a one-step paper. So you skip this step altogether. This is an example, and we just printed this cute little doggy mug earlier. A little more difficult to work with because it's on white paper and not clear, but still, the hard surface paper is $1 a sheet. So I usually round that out to $1.25. Hard surfaces are a great way to make money because the paper is so incredibly cheap.
So similar to sublimation with the mugs that you did before, this is another way to decorate, but you're not necessarily limited to the sublimatable materials, right?
Yes, and actually this is a blank that is offered on our ColDesi website. I forgot to say that, but some sublimation blanks will work just fine with them. So, but you pay less for your blanks. Like I could go to Michael's and get a blank and like a glass or a Dollar Tree store and get something, and so I don't have to have that special coating, so my blank is going to be less money. Yeah,
I've actually seen some customers in our Facebook group and such that they work with like a local like woodworking place or something like that, where they actually say that they're going to make, say, Christmas signs for folks, and rather than necessarily having to go and buy a blank online, they'll get somebody who actually cuts out the wood for them, because you can put it on any untreated wood and it will stick right to it. So it's really cool that you're not limited to the blanks and you're limited to your imagination and creativity.
Right, as long as you can get a flat even press on it and it doesn't melt. I've done some crazy stuff with these transfers. So now I'm gonna keep this on my press, keep it on the heat, and I'm just gonna do a hot peel. And like I said, that's just transferring the glue just to the back of my design. So now this transfer is ready. No shelf life. I can stash it away and put it on later.
So it's really cool is that one transfer, right? It works for, you could put that on a t-shirt, you could put that on a tote bag, you could put that on a piece of
anything.
Wood, like a tons of different stuff, right?
When I started, I was old school. We only had one paper. Now we have the cool wood steps for the light and the hard substrates, but these papers will go on just about anything.
Yeah, and so a question, which reminds me of a question. So there's two questions I wanted to talk about. One is about financing. I'll let you talk about that. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about the different papers, because folks ask, well, if the one paper can work on wood, why would I buy a hard surface paper? And really what we tried to do, and we're coming up with new paper concepts and adding things, are how can we lower your cost and lower the time that it takes for you? So the hard surface paper, which is this one, is print and go directly on. And as you mentioned, it's fast. It's fast and it's a lower cost. So it's another way to help your business be more successful by using the right tools for it. And everything that we have here, we always try to expand to have the best tools for your business. And one of the tools that's really good for a business getting started is financing equipment, because not everybody has the cash or a credit card ready to just buy one of these machines tomorrow. So when you talk with folks on the phone that are interested in getting started, with this, but with anything else in this room, how do they do that, especially if they're not an established business yet?
So in order to fill out the app, we actually work with a broker called Adia Capital, and they've been working with ColDesi for 20, 25 years. And also a family-owned business that's great with their customer service. They work with lots of different banks, so that's to your advantage because they're going to be able to shop your deal and just try to get you the best rate. Now, on to the application, it does ask business questions, but you do not have to have a business to apply. So I always tell people fill it out to the best of your ability with your personal information, like literally your business name can be your name, start date can be today, and register can be not yet registered. So there's only a couple of required business questions, but just fill it out to the best of your ability or have your sales rep help you. And that'll just start the process. Online app should take about 5 minutes, and we usually have an answer back in probably 3 to 5 business hours.
Yeah, so that's awesome. That's awesome.
And terms are usually offered 2 to 4 years. And I also get credit questions a lot. Credit typically lowest they'll go is like mid to upper 500s, and they will allow co-signers.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So, and that's actually a thorough answer. I love that. It's a lot more than I knew. But what I do know is people will ask, what is the rate? We have financing as low as 0% financing. Folks will ask, what's the monthly payment? Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, we're talking about a lot of equipment here, but you can finance equipment in this room for like $50 a month, depending on which one you're looking at.
You start with a heat press about 50. This is kind of our flagship, and the package that I recommend for this is generally around $12,700 total out the door, or it ranges between like $200 to $400 a month if you do the financing.
Okay. And then again, actually, you made a really good point because you said like the package I recommend. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at anything that we're talking about here, and we're going to go back to embroidery in a minute to see that finished stuff, and we can talk about some embroidery packages, but as you can see, there's different printers here. There's more printers than we even have sitting here that are available. And all the equipment out here, depending on what you're looking to do, our representatives on the phone will help to guide you to it. So if you're looking to do, for example, the sublimation, and you say, I'm mainly going to be doing mugs and tumblers, they'll just put together a package for you with mug paper, the type of printer for that, and a mug heat press. If you turn around and you say, I'm looking to do the sublimation just for the t-shirts, because you want to do kind of the UPF t-shirts, like the UV resistant t-shirts, you would not get the mug press, and they would put you together on a press that's good for that.
A flat press.
We'll do the same with the digital heat effects, depending if you need a bunch of this hard surface paper or it's not something you're as interested in. So there's and Holly's particularly good at putting together kind of a variety pack so folks get started really strong, and that's kind of the feedback that we hear from customers.
And just simple things like this is in our essentials pack. It comes in the essentials professional. How do you say it? Essentials?
Like a bundle or package.
Yeah,
or something
essentials
like
kit,
that?
and then also the professional kit. So this is a really nice paper trimmer. What I like about it is I can put a couple of pieces of paper in there. It locks in there. You can cut a couple at a time because you'll want to cut the edges off. Also, if I have this, say like a left chest logo, and I've got 20 designs on here, I can very easily grid cut it and slide them apart and cut multiple pieces at a time. Because if you try to cut these with scissors together, they slide apart from each other.
Yeah, so it's the little tips like that.
Like that. Like I love this. This is a lifesaver.
And we have all types of cool
about,
accessories too. Yeah, like you mentioned, like this.
I'll use that, and I'll use that. I'm going to use that for. This is an awesome sheet. It's like a silicone rubbery sheet. Also sold at ColDesi Company. But say like little things like this. Like this is pretty thin, but we've got a little seam right there. If you got something that's on the press with like a little seam or something, this actually helps absorb it because you want a flat, even press. So it makes it like help your transfer to stick right there.
Yeah, well,
without working around the seam.
So saying all of that, as you can see, there's so much to learn and do, and there's so much power and accessories that can go with all this equipment that one of the best things you could do is actually talk to our pros on the phone, figure out what you want to do and how we can help your business. So speaking of talking a bit to pros, I want to go and talk to Hannah in a minute, but before that, let's just walk over here and show some other digital heat effect stuff. Thank you so much.
Yep.
While you're doing, you actually have to actually put it on the shirt.
Sorry, okay. I'm talking a lot today.
So we've been talking and going crazy. All right, so let's actually make a shirt.
And this is a cute little, what is this? District hoodie. I'm not sure the cost, but I do get asked about cost. So on this full 11 by 17 sheet, my cost is about $4, but this is unique because we're doing a demo. Ordinarily, I would try to get 2 on a sheet. So multiples are gonna help with your cost for sure.
So if you can get 2 prints on a sheet, you're looking at maybe around $2 a print for your transfer.
Right.
Does that sound
And
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's cotton. And that's gonna go in. And I think that blank might have been like $10. So if I would have gotten 2 on a sheet, we would have been at 12. But I would think with that hoodie, it would sell for what, at least 25? 20, 25, depending on the...
Typically more, yeah. And when we survey customers, typically the most common price for a custom-made t-shirt is in the 20 to 25 range. And we've surveyed folks in our Facebook group who have been in this business for a while. And that's when you're doing kind of individual customized stuff. Hoodies and any specialty stuff like that, easily the price goes up another $10 just because it's more rare or more work or more specialty or whatever it might be.
I will also put a shout out. We have a Facebook group called Custom Apparel Startups, or CAS. I get a lot of questions about pricing and stuff. Those, we probably have, what, 16,000 people on there, 12, 16, but they're all business owners. They're all business owners, so, and they're all across the US. So a lot of questions like, hey, pricing questions, that's a great group to go in and ask, or search answers that have already been answered, because most likely you're gonna have somebody in your demographic that's gonna kind of know where the pricing should fall.
So what Holly's doing...
This is a cold peel, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull the...
she's pulling it off right now. As you saw with the Spangle Elite before, we kind of peeled that a little bit warm, right? And it just has to do with how the glue dries, things like that. This we do a cold peel. So what the polymer gets very, very soft, as when you peeled it, you saw how kind of like smooth and soft it was. And then that is gripping into the shirt. So it's biting onto the fabric of the shirt right now. And as it cools off and kind of hardens to a degree, it grips onto it really well. So here we go, the big finish reveal, all right.
Now that's gonna leave like a nice gloss. I'm gonna put this in my press one more time. It's gonna knock that down into the fabrics. It'll give me better washability and take that shine off. And I love this sheet. So I'm gonna put it in on higher pressure. This press does have set, it's got a couple different stages, but it also tells you a digital readout for pressure. The heat press is a very important part. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this press yet. It's new. It feels different.
This is a brand new heat press.
Yeah, so it just feels a little bit different each one. But it has a digital readout for pressure. It's also coiled really tightly on the inside, so that's going to prevent cooler ridges in between your coils, which is very important on your marrying process. So if you're working with like an Amazon press or even Heat Press Nation, I haven't seen those super successful in the Facebook groups. The 4 that I see that are consistent are Hottronics is number 1, Geonite, Hicks, and Insta, and all of those are swingaways. And that is finished.
That's really cool, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks good. This is a nice shirt too. It's real
Yeah.
thin.
Yeah,
Got a little thin hoodie with the V-neck.
On ColemanandCompany.com, you can see a bunch of these blanks. District is one of the more popular blanks that we work with. They make some really nice apparel that really levels up what you're going to sell to your customers. Okay, so we're back at our display case here just to show off all the things that I've loved making with the digital heat effect system. This is Santa right here. This is like the coolest Santa that's ever existed, just skateboarding. Love him. And I'll show you some other stuff down here that we've made with digital heat effects. So here's a can cooler. This is some slate. This is kind of all of a project that we did together for this kind of lazy parrot. So we made actually a clock, so that's on wood. We've done this canvas shoe. A baseball. So there's a ton of cool stuff you could do with a digital heat effects system, and it's just one of my favorite things to play with, because when you print that transfer, you're just actually thinking like, what else can I decorate with? And when we want to do demonstrations, that's one of the funnest things that we have here in the marketing department, is that we'll talk about what can we make? What's like a new blank we haven't tried before? And every week we're coming up with a new thing, and the digital heat effects is just always a great inspiration because there's so many things we can put it on. So now that we're done with talking about digital heat effects, let's go ahead back to our embroidery. We'll look at the finished design and we'll talk with Hannah a bit.
Hey guys, I missed you a little bit. I hope you had fun with the rest of your tour. I've been finished here for a little bit now, so I was waiting on you guys. I'm going to show you the finished product. Go ahead and we will just take this off the machine. This is the Allied gridlock hoop I'm using here. Really great, kind of what we were talking about with digital heat effects world. Over on the Avance embroidery side, there's different packages and bundles as well. So these hoops, highly recommend. You're gonna get a ton of hoops with your machine, but something great about these is they have grid lines, hence the name. That's gonna help you line up your design. Really premium grade plastic. And then when we look inside here, your tension knob is going to be a really nice, high quality metal tension knob here. So really great. We're gonna take this over the side table, gonna do a couple things, and then it'll be ready basically to wear or to sell, whatever you want to do with it. So I will pop off my hoop. Let's get this nice and flat. Put it to the side. And here's that inside piece that we had, keeping it nice and secure. And then we used a cutaway backing here. And I do have one thing with embroidery, you want to keep your machine nice and oiled up. It is a machine. So we just have a little bit of grease there from that oil, but we have an amazing product on ColemanandCompany.com that's a spot lifter spray that'll take that right off. Really great tool if you're going to be doing embroidery. So I'm going to flip this inside out, and what you're looking at is the backing. That's going to stabilize the sweater and help you get nice stitching, make sure it doesn't stretch around and whatnot. So I have some scissors here, and I'm just going to cut away the excess part of the backing so that we don't have all of this on our skin here. And just as you've noticed, it seems like we all just kind of picked the machine we liked best today, and totally true. I absolutely love embroidery. It is just such a classic look. It never really goes out of style. You know, it just always looks crisp. It always looks professional. You can do monograms, you can do logos. So really endless opportunities here. You can never really go wrong. So there's that finished product there. Nice little sweater, and something like this could absolutely sell for, I mean, definitely probably in the 40s, $40, something like that. When you put stuff on a sweatshirt, you're really increasing the value. And then when you put embroidery on something, you're also increasing the value there. So really, really great outfit here. I actually want to put it on. I'm not going to quite yet, but I might put it on later. So yeah, I think the mug that we sublimated earlier is done. So Mark, do you want to take it away and show some of the sublimation stuff we've made before we bring it back over to Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a brief look over here before when we were talking about some sublimation, but there's just too many things to share, and I have to show you a couple of my favorites. So the picture stuff, I think, is, and we mentioned it before, but I think that this is it's a unique offering that you as a business owner can offer for, you know, local people, for businesses, these types of things. These are slate that you can actually sublimate on. This is great for like company awards, stuff like that. I just absolutely love it. I think it looks so crisp and clean, photo quality. The mugs is key. This is a digital heat effects printed mug, I'm pretty positive. But this is a sublimation one that we did. This is a really cute mug, actually. So as you can see, there's different sizes too. I think this is a 15-ounce mug and this is an 11-ounce mug. Keychains, the Christmas ornament stuff. Look at that, graduating. I love that. This one's actually digital heat effects. So we've got a mix of kind of both in here, and it's just such a beautiful way to be able to personalize things, very low cost, and just really easy to do. All this sublimation stuff, these ornaments and stuff like that, are some of the easiest things we did. I mean, we literally hit print, stick it on top, take a print, stick it right on top, put it onto the heat press. Usually it sits there for like a minute. or something like that, and then take it off, and it looks perfect every time. So sublimation is just one of those things that right out of the gate, you can look like you are been doing this forever, super professional stuff, and it was like, all I did was hit print and put some heat on it. So cool. Well, speaking of heat, right, it's time to get back to Michael to show us some hot stuff that he's got going on here with the Christmas mug he was making.
Hey folks, so that mug is now finished and I've let it cool down. Obviously, even as it's coming right off the heat press, it's still going to be sublimating, so I would recommend letting all your sublimation designs cool. But now we can just go ahead and tear that off. And look at that.
And that heat tape just comes right off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the heat tape is really, really good for securing any of your designs. It doesn't mess with any of the paper. It's just a really, really easy and useful tool. And as we've all mentioned before, it's very easy to just talk with our pros about things like bundles, and our pros can help you find everything you need in order to succeed. As we mentioned before, it could be mug paper, it could be the specific type of sublimation paper, whether it's 11 by 17 or 13 by 19, and especially the right sublimation printer in terms of financing as well.
Yeah, that's great. And the sublimations, actually, speaking about financing that you mentioned, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Is because your sublimation packages can be very low cost to entry, meaning that you can have like a sublimation business started up for a couple $1,000s or less than $100 a month. It's really popular. And we can kind of rank things a little bit while we're here when we're talking about cost of entry and being able to get things started. So for your lowest cost of entry is going to be like your cutting machine or your sublimation, right? Those are probably the two most popular for folks looking to get started, but they want to get started small. They're both very, very versatile machines, and it's just a tool that you're going to have forever, right? So if you are moving into a new house or a new apartment, right, and you need to get some pots and pans, right, the first thing you're probably going to get is a fry pan. Why? Because you can cook with just all over the place. You can cook tons of stuff, and it's also pretty darn affordable, right? Just like tools, you're gonna get maybe like a hammer, screwdriver, stuff like that, the simple tools. As you cook more or work on your house more, you'll get bigger and better tools. So that's how a lot of folks like to start it. The other way to go is to kind of go in a little bit higher up and give yourself more versatility right out of the gate. Set yourself up for success. That kind of next level up is going to be like your Roland or your digital heat effects, something like that, or even the Spangle Elite. So those are a little bit larger investment, but just a fantastic versatility. And then we kind of are starting to step into the world of embroidery too. That's going to be a similar price range. As we step into the next room, where you have plenty more technology to show you and plenty more cool things to do, including direct-to-garment printing, UV printing, and we're going to talk about direct-to-film printing as well. So let's go ahead and take a walk through ColDesi, go through our other showroom where we've got a lot more stuff to show you.
Surprise! I'm back, and I did put on the sweatshirt because I literally couldn't help myself. So come on, we're gonna go up to the front showroom now, show you the DTG G4, our direct-to-garment printer. So we'll just take a quick walk. I'm not too good at talking and chewing gum at the same time, walking and talking, so we're just gonna do a nice little silent walk up here. We're right now in our ColDesi offices in Tampa, Florida. So if you're nearby, or if you wanna come in and see anything firsthand in action, come in for a demo. We love seeing you guys, and we love you being able to see our products in real time. So here it is. I do have the hood open right now. Usually like to keep this closed, you can see G4, but we're gonna keep it open just so you can really see that printing in action. What we're going to be making is a Santa shirt like this. 100% cotton tee here. DTG printing is best on cotton, but we picked this art because this is a photorealistic image here. So something that DTG printing really stands out with is that digital printing and that photorealism. and also just the softness. So let's go ahead, go through the steps. I did already pre-treat my shirt. So that's this machine that you're seeing right here, our PTM, our pre-treat machine. Pre-treat is almost like a glue type substance, and it's what's gonna allow that ink to really stick to your shirt. So we've already gone ahead and done that step for you. And we heat pressed it so it's nice and dry, took all the wrinkles. Now's the fun part, the vacuum platen. So all I have to do here, put my shirt over, lay it, and you're gonna hear that vacuum. It's sucking my shirt into place. I don't have to hoop it. I can just kind of tug it around, make sure it's even. That's it. If you're familiar with DTG printing and you've seen other DTG printers, you have to get this old hoop and you got to get it on there perfectly. Once you hoop it into place, you can't like move it around at all. It's a whole process. Something also great about the G4 is our control panel here. So I actually have what we're printing already loaded up in here. I've printed on it before, and it saves jobs. It has a memory on board, so I just have to go to my recent jobs, find it, there it is, Santa and reindeer, select. It's gonna pop up on my screen, and then I'm just gonna send it under. I'm literally going to press print. It's gonna adjust the height of my bed automatically. First thing it's gonna do is print my white ink layer. Then it's gonna print those colors over top. So that's how you get those really, really vibrant prints that are gonna stand out.
Yeah, what I love about that vacuum platen that you mentioned is how not only is it sucking your shirt down, but it's like pulling the ink into the shirt, right?
Yes. So it's gonna make the prints more vibrant because all that ink's going right into the fabric, but it's also gonna reduce your maintenance because the ink isn't going to be floating around the machine, it's all getting sucked down into the shirt.
Okay, so because we're working with an inkjet system, it's actually shooting out these like microparticles of ink, and not all of them make it onto the shirt.
Right.
So the vacuum platen is actually kind of sucking to make sure all that does get in there and doesn't create a mess in your print. That's pretty genius.
Yeah.
Who invented that? I think it was the folks over here at
I think it was,
ColDesi.
we did.
Now, we do have engineers that have been in direct-to-garment printing for a really long time, and they spend a ton of time re-engineering consistently to help create just new, better, and more amazing products for the direct-to-garment industry.
Yeah, so it did the white layer like we talked about. Now the colors are going on top there. So you can absolutely print on dark colors. We did choose just like a sand colored shirt for this particular design, but you can 100% print on black. You're gonna get really vibrant prints. You can do white. You can do tote bags. You can do pillowcases. You can do towels. There really is a lot you can do here that's not just t-shirts.
And can I show you this shirt right here? Because I saw it the other day for the first time. And I was like, I love this.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, this art is super cool. The colors just really
You cannot do that with vinyl. You can do it with sublimation because it's cotton tee.
But on a light color. Yeah, you can't do it with sublimation.
Can't do it with sublimation because this is a dark tee and it's cotton. So there's definitely some advantages here with that DTG printing.
Yeah, and this is just some of the most vibrant white you're going to get on a print, just period, through direct-to-garment printing, no matter what the technology.
Yeah. So this ink is wet. It is an inkjet system like we talked about. So we're going to heat press it again. I'm going to go ahead and just take it off. Over here to our GeoNite press. Just like we like the Hotronic presses for our digital heat effect system, we love the GeoNite for DTG printing. It has a hover feature, which I'll show you real quick, that's going to not actually touch the shirt. You'll kind of feel and hear a little magnet click. It's just hovering above it. So we'll do that for about 45 seconds. Then we'll do our last press. And with the DTG G4, you're also going to get the DTF, the direct-to-film printer kit with that. So really cool things you can do now with DTG printing. You don't have to worry about awkward placements like tags or long sleeves that sometimes can be a little bit of a challenge with DTG. You can DTF print it on a film. We'll give you all the stuff for that. And then you can just heat apply it to garments and whatnot. So Very
yeah,
cool
that's
there.
awesome. And I'm glad that you brought up DTF, because we don't have a DTF printer in this room with us, because we carry large direct-to-film printers here at ColDesi that are designed for some high production. So hopefully through the magic of editing, we might be able to get
I think I can show you a little DTF printing going on.
Okay, but we have those in another one of our facilities. That's not where we're doing the holiday special today. But direct to film it's got a lot of the advantages of all the stuff that we're looking at now. So you get, some of the really vibrancy that you can get with your DTG printing. You get to the ability to print transfers like you saw in the other room with doing the white toner printers. And it's super high production. So I mean, it has really changed the way high production shops can produce not just transfers, but just t-shirts themselves.
Yeah.
So what's really cool about the G4 particularly is that it is also a direct-to-film transfer printer.
Yep. So that's done now, all dry. And I mean, the huge advantage here and something that we just love is this hand feel. I mean, this is almost like it's not even there. If I couldn't see it, I wouldn't know that this is there right now. Super soft and ready to go. Yeah. Any other questions, Mark?
Is that the real Santa, or does he just work for him?
We can't tell you.
Okay.
Undisclosed information there.
Okay, cool.
But I do want to show you the UV printing before we leave.
Okay, sure. And also, I'd like to walk by the Pro Spangle machine, since we talked about that. Mind if I do that?
Go right ahead.
Okay, wonderful. So, if you want to come back here, we talked about Spangles before, the Spangle Elite, and that's kind of a compact Spangle machine, one color at a time. And the Pro Spangle is the step up from that. So this is a 6-color machine, and it is just super fast and an awesome piece of equipment. And this has really taken popularity over the years and just continues to be a workhorse machine for all types of businesses out there. And surprisingly, many small businesses actually start with this because they dive right into the bling world, and knowing that they're going to be able to not only produce the apparel, but produce wholesale transfers that they're selling to other shops in their area. So this is a piece of technology I highly recommend. It gives you an edge over everything else that not a lot of other folks are doing. So thanks for taking a look at the Pro Spangle, and let's go ahead and talk to Hannah about UV printing.
Yeah, so I have all our UV printers here. We're gonna go down the line a little bit. We have our Muto ExpertJet printers. So a little bit of our smaller machines, the ExpertJet 461 UF is desktop size. Really great advantage there. Small, you can fit this definitely in a shop. Really anywhere. Then you have the 661 UF. Little bigger, a little bit more advantages here, like braille printing. And you can also do that UV DTF printing. So DTF coming up again, really a big buzz right now. That's what these transfers are that Mark is holding. You'll do a lamination process that is all talked about in training and stuff like that. And I can just put these on kind of like your hard to print surfaces. So a helmet is a really good example. It has a lot of different edges and different surfaces and textures. You can just apply that right onto it and remove the carrier sheet and you're done.
Yeah, so what I like about UV is you can print on just about any finished good, right? So we've done, golf balls, and you can see wood, phone cases, we've done awards, tiles. There's all types of cool stuff that we've done. But some items can be really hard to print on, like you mentioned, the helmet, where there's no real smooth surface, and that's where the direct-to-film version of UV printing. Other items we print directly on would be this highlighter. You can also do balls or cylindrical shaped items, like you see this little urn right here, or this tumbler. So UV printing is definitely cool and super unique. We've printed on guitars, toilet seats, wood, plastic. Yeah. There's tons of cool stuff.
Yeah, and that braille printing, that textured printing I was talking about with the Muto 661 UF, really great selling opportunities there, as you can imagine. I mean, you need these signs at any office, any building. Here is just one example, so you can see that texture. It's built up, So it's just gonna print ink, 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 and it's drying all at the same time. The UV lights are drying it. So that's how it's able to raise up those levels of ink and create that texture. So I do have a couple holiday examples that I've UV printed over here for you guys on our Compress UV 1200. We also have the 600 right here, so a little smaller, still honestly a great size. You can fit one corrugated yard sign on there. So you still have lots of opportunities for bulk printing, but the Compress 1200, I mean, as you can tell, this has a huge print bed here. So I could fit 2 corrugated signs. I could fit, I don't know, like thousands of ornaments. So one example here, printed ornaments, something you can do. These are ceramic blank, but you could also do acrylic ones, you can do glass ones. I mean, what Mark was saying is you can print on almost anything with UV printing. This print depth is also really impressive. So you see this mailbox here? We put this whole mailbox in the UV printer. We didn't have to take it apart or anything. We were able to just stick it in, and this print bed will lower and adjust its height automatically for you. And then you just print. I mean, it's really amazing the products you can make and the businesses, opportunities that you can get into with it. I mean, who would think like printed mailboxes? But this is a heavy duty mailbox. Oh,
yeah.
This would sell for a pretty penny here with a custom print like that, last name, address. And you can print different designs all at the same time. So what does that mean? Okay, so I can put a mailbox here, a mailbox here, a mailbox here, a mailbox here, and they can all have different designs on them. They're gonna print all at the same time. So that's something that's really impressive that kind of amazes me a little bit, the things you can do in the software and tell the printer to do. And I do have some more examples here of things we've UV printed. Candle, signs are a really, really big one. Canvas prints, wraparounds. So with the rotary attachment, you can 360-degree print. Really impressive there.
Yeah, so cool. Is that carbon fiber up on the top?
Oh, yeah. Carbon fiber, so. Really impressive stuff. Poker chips. Imagine how many of these you could fit on the 1201.
Many.
Thousands. I don't even know how many, but a lot.
It's thousands, but maybe ones, dozens, many's. So one of the things you can print minis of and have texture on, I found this to be, this sample, I don't even know why, it's just one of my favorites, but
it's been here forever.
Yeah, it's been here forever, and it's actually the maybe like a gator type of a skin, but it's actually printed to feel as if it's that. And you could do this type of stuff with art canvas prints as well. So if you were getting into the business of wanting to do prints for art and you actually wanted to print like dimensionally to make it look like it was an oil print, you can actually dimensionally print up, and it's
seashells.
Super cool.
You can feel these seashells.
Really?
Yeah, really
I've
impressive.
Actually never felt
I have to. Every time I come in here, I just touch everything.
Yeah,
and with UV printing, I can. I don't have any dry time. That's something that also really excites me about this system. It's ready to go. You take it off and it's done. So
yeah, really cool. Well, thanks for the UV demonstration. More and more I've been watching UV videos and stuff like that. Just super impresses me all the time. Well, thank you for watching the ColDesi Holiday Special. We went over a lot of different technologies, and all of this stuff is great for whether you're starting a business or looking to grow the one that you've already got. We've got folks here to help answer the 100 questions that you've got just by watching this. We probably answered a bunch of your questions and created a bunch of new ones. So we have people that are here to help you out, to build packages for you, help you with financing, or just pick the equipment that's right for you. But whatever it is, we're happy to help. And please check out ColDesi.com and see even more equipment that we have and more options than we even showed in this special. So thanks again and have happy holidays.